Catus Maximus here, this time with a review of a Milwaukee Orbital Super SawzAll number 6536-21. So when this came out, this was the infamous. It was the most powerful SawzAll of its time with the 13 amp motor. Of course, they have the 15 amp version now. I really like this version because it really had all the properties that I really liked about a Milwaukee. Without the things that kind of seem to break. It doesn't have a speed dial, which always seemed to give me trouble. And it just has a traditional cord, not the twist lock type. So that's nice. What big upgrade they did do on this is it's not a rubber over molded back handle. This is actually a solid rubber piece, and the plastic's actually open. This piece has a lip that insets into the handle, so it's actually like a big cushy, I don't know if you can see that, but it actually squeezes in, and that does wonders. It's actually a really nice handle. And since this kind of handle design is common, like on the right angle drills, I have an idea of buying some of these handles and seeing if I can put them on other Milwaukee tools just to get that really nice grip on there. Variable speed, of course, 1 1/4 inch stroke, and it has an option to stop the orbiting, although it doesn't seem to totally stop it. You really have to put the blade in upside down. Of course, it has Milwaukee's traditional quick release chuck here. If I can get a view on that. What? Excuse me. So there's the quick release chuck. It doesn't have the... Gosh. There we go. It doesn't have the wings on it like the Rigid does, but it's still, I think Milwaukee is the first one who came up with these, and they are pretty darn reliable. You just want to make sure it shuts all the way. They do wear out some, but they're pretty simple to replace. It has an adjustable shoe, which is kind of loose. They tend to want a crack in the front. But I don't really use the shoe. I mean, I'm always cutting full depth. The idea of the shoe is to be able to use different areas of the blade, and that does work in some situations, but for the most part, the whole blade is done by the time you're, there isn't much left to make it worth adjusting the shoe in and out. So anyway, this has the counterweight. The special thing about the Milwaukee counterweight, it's a horseshoe that actually runs over the rod, so the counterweight is running along the same center line as the actual plunger, and that's a unique way of doing it. And this thing is super smooth. We'll run it, and it's a pretty powerful. I mean, this has a 2 horsepower motor in it. Here, as you can see, it barely shakes at all, and that's what makes the Super SawzAll super, is the counterweight in them. And there is no other reciprocating saw. There are other saws that do have counterweights that are pretty balanced, but this was the first, and it really seems to work basically the best, because everything's in line with the spindle. The mechanism that drives it is 2 fingers in here, and they're actually pretty lightweight. So because of that mechanism, all the forces are also in line with the center line of the blade. So it's easier to control. The tool doesn't move back and forth or up and down, doesn't have any vibration. The only slight vibration is actually just straight back and forth. And it makes it much easier to control and actually make surprisingly straight cuts with, a reciprocating saw. So anyway, that was just a quick review of the 13 amp 6536-21. Please subscribe and support your local YouTuber. Catus Maximus out.